Hi, my name is Dashka Slater. I am the author of The 57 Bus, and I want to talk about some times when I have heard from readers that the book has made a difference in their lives. I get a remarkable number of letters and emails and social media messages from readers, and so I have lots of stories to tell, but I'm just going to tell a few of them. When I wrote the book, my goal was to open up conversations, to make a space for conversations about race, gender, and justice. And so I love the letters that tell me that that is happening. I get letters from teachers saying that they have never had more remarkable conversations with their students than they have had during the reading of the 57 Bus. That kids open up and are so thoughtful and interested and engaged in these kind of deep philosophical questions. And I hear from students saying the same thing. I recently got a letter from a student saying that she was loving the conversations she was having in class about the book, and that there was a boy that she had kind of dismissed as being, out of touch, and that she was finding that he was asking, in her words, the most thoughtful questions. And so I love that, because it means that not only are the conversations happening, but through those conversations, kids who write each other off are, who are stereotyping one another, are becoming more empathetic, are understanding that people's surfaces are not all that's going on. I also hear from parents whose children have given them the book as a way of opening up a conversation in the family. And so these kind of family read-togethers have allowed the whole family to talk about race, gender, and justice in new ways, and has helped kids have a way to kind of talk to a parent who might not understand a non-binary identity. So those letters are super moving to me. I also hear from a lot of kids for whom the book is a window rather than a mirror. I hear from lots of kids that it's a mirror for, and those are incredible as well. But I love hearing from the window kids who are rethinking some of their certainties about the world. One of my favorite letters that I've ever received was from a young white boy in an affluent neighborhood who wrote to say that the book was making him uncertain. My favorite word, because I think all of us have too many certainties. And he was feeling uncertain because he had two things that he thought he knew about himself. One was that he believed there was only two genders, and this idea that there were more was something he and his friends made fun of. And the other was that he was very pro law enforcement. But he really identified both with Sasha, who is non-binary, and with Richard, who set Sasha's skirt on fire on the bus. And he identified with Richard in particular because, like Richard, he was kind of a button pusher and a class clown. And so he said if he was on the bus with Sasha and he was with his friends, that for sure they would have done something to mess with Sasha the way Richard had. And so because of this, he was now thinking about Richard facing the possibility of life imprisonment and wondering if that was really the best response to a single impulsive act by a 16-year-old kid. And so this uncertainty, to me, that's like my crowning achievement. If I can allow kids to set aside the things that they think they know in order to be open to new information, new experiences, new kinds of empathy, then I feel like I've done my job. Last story. I was at a school for at-risk kids, and a boy came up to me afterwards asking lots and lots of questions about Sasha. I had sort of expected the kids to be interested in Richard because many of them had been incarcerated or system involved, but it was Sasha that a lot of them were interested in. And this boy in particular had many, many questions about Sasha. And at some point, as he said, I'm just so interested in Sasha, I want to know everything about Sasha. And I said, is there some reason that you connect particularly with Sasha? And he said, yes, I'm autistic, as is Sasha. And I've never read a book with an autistic main character before. And I feel like there's so many possibilities open to me that I didn't realize were open. And that to me is the power of books, which is that you never know where somebody is going to relate, how they're going to connect. That when we think about mirrors and windows, we're often thinking sort of in this one-to-one way that the queer kid is going to identify with the queer kid and the Black kid is going to identify with the Black kid and so on. But my experience is that people find all different ways to connect and find themselves mirrored in a book. That is the great beauty of what we do. Thank you for giving me a chance to talk about it.